We have some major breaking news as it has been reported that Aric Almirola was indefinitely suspended for an altercation with Bubba Wallace at a competition meeting. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel and welcome back to the video. As I just said a second ago, we got some pretty major breaking news. According to Jordan Bianchi, a physical altercation between Aric Almirola and Bubba Wallace is why Joe Gibbs Racing removed Almirola as driver of its number 20 car for last month's Xfinity Series race at Charlotte, then subsequently indefinitely suspended him. This is very interesting. There was a lot of rumors and speculation on why Aric Almirola was removed from Charlotte. It all began back at the Charlotte weekend. Basically, Ty Gibbs got put into the number 20 car, if I remember correctly, and there was a lot of people thought it was because of sponsorship reasons, but then around the Gateway weekend, there was rumors and speculation circulating that Bubba Wallace and Aric Almirola got into an altercation. Now, if you actually read the article that Jordan Bianchi put out, a lot of people initially thought that Bubba Wallace had been the instigator, and that's why Aric Almirola went and got into a fight with Bubba. Well, according to the article, it's noted that Aric Almirola was actually the instigator in the fight. Now, we don't know exactly what was said according to sources that told Jordan Bianchi, but we do know that both got into a fight. And that is why they suspended him indefinitely. If it had been the other way around, I don't think that basically Aric Almirola might have been suspended. But that makes a lot of sense. Now, it does need to be noted that Aric Almirola is expected to return around July 20th, and his indefinite suspension will be lifted on July 20th. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to see this and absolutely blame Bubba Wallace for this fight, unfortunately. But when you look at the situation, hands down, Bubba Wallace is not to blame if it's true that Aric Almirola is the instigator. If Aric Almirola was the instigator on what was said, that makes a lot of sense why he was suspended, unfortunately. And you have to go back and look at the history of these two drivers. Aric Almirola and Bubba Wallace have not liked each other for a very long time, going all the way back to 2017 and 2018, when Bubba Wallace replaced Aric Almirola at Richard Petty Motorsports back in 2018. And they basically talked to each other, and they were texting each other, wishing him good luck, and you're going to need it. And then back last year at the Coca-Cola 600 in 2023, we saw that basically they were getting into a little bit of a shoving match. Apparently, according to Aric Almirola, Bubba started cussing at him. Aric Almirola went up and confronted Bubba Wallace on that situation. Now, like I said, I see this situation that these two do not like each other. Now, the weird thing for me is that all the Toyota teams are in the same competition. I thought that they would be separate, right? I thought they would be separate meetings going on. Instead, they're both in the same competition meeting, which is really, really odd and weird. Now, you look at Aric Almirola, he's already won this year with Joe Gibbs Racing going back to Martinsville. And it's very interesting. So a lot of people thought initially it was because Aric Almirola made certain comments toward JGR about their intermediate program. That was the initial report. And there was rumors and speculation that Aric Almirola was going to be out of the team altogether. And there was rumors and people speculating that here on social media. But at least Aric Almirola is going to be making a return and the comeback. And now, obviously with Bubba Wallace, a lot of people will send Bubba Wallace hate no matter what because it is Bubba Wallace, right? And again, these two have not liked each other for a very, very long time. At least on a positive note, if there is really a positive note in the situation, we kind of got cleared up on the story and situation of why Aric Almirola is suspended. Now again, like I mentioned a minute ago, Aric Almirola is expected to have his indefinite suspension lifted on July 20th. But he hadn't posted on Twitter in a while, so I was wondering what was going on. Then went to his Instagram, and I saw that he was still posting, but he wasn't posting any sort of racing. We do know he ran for Toy Racing at North Wilkesboro, so maybe he can make a return at that organization in the future if that team decides to show up. But my question now is that with his indefinite suspension being lifted, will Aric Almirola be back at Joe Gibbs Racing in 2025? I'm going to be real and honest. I'm not sure if he is going to be back. I'm not sure if he'll be back next season. But at least we know Almirola is going to be back. We are expecting a return at Indianapolis for the NASCAR Xfinity race in that number 20 car. And we know he's actually scheduled to run Watkins Glen as well in that 20C. If Aric Almirola's indefinite suspension is not lifted by July 20th, then you start asking, yeah, he's probably done. He's probably no longer going to be back at JGR. But it's very interesting to look at this situation because, again, you go back to the history, you go back through the details, and you look at it and see that these two have not liked each other for a very, very long time. And again, I look at the situation that Almirola, if he truly is the instigator and the one that caused it, then Bubba Wallace does not deserve any hate, in my opinion. Because I'm going to see Bubba Wallace probably get a lot of hate on social media, especially on Facebook, because we know how Facebook is. A lot of people go to Facebook and they look at that page and they start commenting about Bubba Wallace, and Bubba Wallace gets a ton of undeserved hate, in my opinion, because it is Bubba Wallace. He got hate 4 years ago for a situation I'm not really going to bring up on here, and I look at this situation once again for it, right? And Almirola being indefinitely suspended. Joe Gibbs can do whatever they want. It's their company. At least it's not NASCAR suspending him, because Aric Almirola can race wherever he wants. But if it's Joe Gibbs Racing making a decision because of an altercation that happened in a competition meeting, then yeah, that makes a ton and a lot of sense, right? Why he was unfortunately suspended. Because Aric Almirola does have commitment from He Gets Us and a couple other companies, and that's what I initially thought it was, right? I thought it was a sponsor dispute that was causing him to be basically suspended at the time. Turns out, according to reports, it was an altercation between both drivers, which I found very interesting and kind of crazy, to be honest. We haven't seen a lot of drivers get into fights and feuds in recent years. We've seen some, of course, some issues between drivers, right? Like Kyle Busch and Ross Chastain having feuds over the years, among other drivers like Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin having a rivalry, among other things, and Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin getting into a fight. But at the same token, same time, it's interesting because these two have had a history against each other for a very, very long time. And I imagine that this is not going to be the last time that these two are going to feud. Aric Almirola is a lot older of a driver, of course, while Bubba Wallace is obviously fighting for a playoff spot in the NASCAR Cup Series. They both have, I think Bubba's got 2 wins in Cup. Aric Almirola's got 3 wins in Cup, and Almirola's had a little more success, but Bubba Wallace has also had a lot of success in his career up to this point as well. I really hope going forward there's no issues between both these guys, but I've got a funny feeling that once Aric Almirola returns to that building, there might be more issues coming up. I am a little surprised that all the Toyota teams as well are in the same competition meeting, considering the fact like drivers like Sheldon Creed, Chandler Smith probably saw that and were trying to break it up on other things. We'll probably have more information come out as time progresses and goes on, as once more details does come out about the situation, we'll report it here on the channel. But once again, Aric Almirola was the instigator in the situation. It wasn't Bubba Wallace, according to Jordan Bianchi, all the reports coming out currently at this particular moment. So anyways, that is going to be today's special breaking news report. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, and if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support my Patreon as well. Let's go below that and comment your thoughts on today's video. What are your thoughts about this shocking news story? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. We have the Penske video dropping today for the Ally 400. Tomorrow we're going to have the reactions. We're going to have the NASCAR news video. We'll have more topics on this situation. And we're also going to have the Truck Series race review as well. Then on Saturday we'll have reactions to the Xfinity Series race. If the weather holds up, though the weather does look good for this weekend. We're also going to have the video on qualifying for Cup. We'll have reaction to that new format they're coming out with. And we'll also have a Shane Van Gisbergen video dropping as well. We'll talk about drivers like Haley Deegan and Chandler Smith as well. Then on Sunday, we'll have the NASCAR Cup Series race review as well, if the weather can hold off. Talk about drivers like, of course, like Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch will be competing in that race, and a lot of other drivers to talk about as we get through the next couple of weeks. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.